Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy. Today, I'll be discussing an update on charge-off removal in 2026. Now, last year, I covered several videos on charge-off removal, and all those videos are still valid. They're still valid strategies as of the recording of today's video. However, last year, the CFPB funding was cut by nearly 50% in a July 2025 budget bill, greatly reducing operating budgets from $785 million to $446 million. This sparked layoffs, it halted enforcement action as the current administration tried to weaken it and ultimately eliminate the Bureau entirely. However, I showed you a new method where you can send your disputes through the Better Business Bureau. I want to let you know that method does not work nearly as well as it used to, but you can still send your disputes through the CFPB. I'll also let everyone know the mail always works. So what I'll be covering is a few things. Number one, you don't need the CFPB to remove charge-offs. The CFPB was just an easy way to send your disputes online. You can still send options by disputing them through the mail and sending letters certified. However, the CFPB still does work. So as I go through the steps today, please understand that the methods that I've discussed in the past and to this day, they are all based on the FCRA, also known as the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And as long as your rights have not changed, then these methods will always work. So like I said before, in the future, if the mode of sending these disputes becomes obsolete, you can always fall back on sending all your disputes through the mail. Now, when it comes to a charge-off is the highest level of delinquency that you can get besides a bankruptcy on your credit report. And that's what makes it one of the hardest items to get removed from your credit report to date. But I'm going to show you step by step the way that you can dispute charge-offs to get them permanently deleted from your credit report. And once again, this has been and still will be the most accurate method that I can provide, and I'm going to give you some information on exactly what you can expect. So this will be the fastest and most accurate way to dispute charge-offs in 2026 and get them removed from your credit report. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Just like last year, I want to preface this by saying you need to get in the right state of mind. Despite what you hear online, no one can guarantee you a charge-off will be removed in any certain period of time at all. They cannot do it. I am not a credit repair specialist. This is not a credit repair channel, and I don't want money for credit repair. Please don't email me. Please don't ask me. I have never and will never do it. But here's what I can say. I personally fix my own credit using the methods that I'm going to provide for you today, as well as various other methods on this channel, and I'm sharing them with you for free so you can do this yourself. All the information I give is DIY, meaning you do it yourself and you are 100% in control of your credit and your finances. Now, what I can promise you is if you follow these steps properly, it will greatly increase your chances of success. Most of you watching this video, you've seen my previous methods, you've seen them on hard inquiries, you've seen them on collections, you've seen them on late payments, and chances are you saw some success with those methods. Charge-offs are different. Unlike collections, hard inquiries, or late payments, removal there isn't a one-size-fits-all strategy. You just can't use the same thing to get them off. Like I've told a lot of people, a credit report is as unique as a fingerprint. Every charge-off is unique, which means not any one charge-off can be removed the exact same way perfectly where you can guarantee the same result. However, for me personally, I've removed 8 charge-offs from my credit report, all collections, and I did it using all the methods that I provided on this channel. Did it take me a long time? Yes, but I didn't have all of these methods that I'm providing you today. I learned all of this along the way, and I'm giving it to you up front, so hopefully you can do it faster. And to put this in perspective, again, I've said this in several videos, but some of you might be new here. It took me roughly 2 years to clean up my credit from start to finish. The first 12 months, I didn't do anything except let the accounts age. And then after that, I spent 12 months adding positive payment history and disputing derogatory information. And around the time that I created this channel, it was around January of 2024. I think 2 months after that, I got my last charge-off removed and I documented the entire process on this channel. So once again, what you're getting is not some credential that I'm throwing around. I'm giving you real world experience from a person who's done it by himself, okay? So let's move on. To begin, let's discuss where you should be getting your credit reports to get the most accurate information. Now, my first recommendation is annualcreditreport.com. Annualcreditreport.com is the only source authorized by federal law to receive all 3 of your bureau reports: completely for free. And as of the recording of this video, you can pull your report once per week. It's also the only credit report that shows your complete payment history in its entirety. Now, my other recommendation is rising.com. You can start a trial for $1. The link will be down in the description. Now, Rising is a credit monitoring service with a credit simulator, and it can predict where your score can rise depending on actions that you take. The reason I like Rising for this method is because it provides you with a tri-merged credit report. A tri-merged credit report combines your credit information from all three major bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. It puts it all into one single comprehensive document, making this very easy to review your accounts and show the credit bureaus the information that will be inaccurate. You also get real-time updates on your disputes, so you'll be notified when charge-offs have been removed. Either way, the goal is the same. You want a clean, readable credit report. That way you can get charge-offs removed. So by now, you should have a clean, accurate credit report either from annualcreditreport.com or rising.com. Now let's define exactly what a charge-off is. A charge-off means that a company has written off a debt because it does not believe it will receive money that it's owed. You are still responsible for paying debt that has been charged off. Paying off or settling the overdue debt does not mean that it will be removed from charge-off status on your consumer credit report. So even if you pay off a charge-off, it does not mean that the status will go away. It will still remain on your credit report. Instead, the status will likely be changed to charged off, paid, or charge-off settled. That's the reason why we focus on deleting the account. A charge-off that's settled still has the same amount of damage as a normal charge-off. It will hurt your credit report. It will prevent you from getting funding. It will definitely bring down your score. So today, factual disputes will be the main topic of conversation. I will give you different scenarios because, again, not all charge-offs will be the same. They're going to be different depending on your situation. Now, before we talk about the different types of charge-offs, I do want to say that I've been doing a new business where I'm actually doing data furnishing. So I do have some information that I plan to provide in a follow-up video of how you can dispute charge-offs from your credit report from a creditor perspective, because now I basically know exactly what happens when you're a creditor and exactly what you have to uphold. But again, I will discuss that in a separate video. Now, when it comes to different types of charge-offs that you'll encounter, there are high balance charge-offs. These are charge-offs that can be anywhere from $1,500 or more depending on your situation. Now, when it comes to high balance charge-offs, these are the ones that usually debt collectors like to sue over. Now, I do have an entire video where I talk about lawsuits. I'm going to link that video right here. If you have an account that's been charged off and it's also been sold to a debt buyer, then check out that video. It definitely will give you more details into that particular scenario. Just be aware that higher balances can most likely lead to lawsuits. I just want to make sure that I give this information and address it. It does not mean that I'm saying you should not dispute the account, because regardless, if the account is still on your credit report, you can still be sued. Whether you get it removed, whether you don't, it can still happen. Next, we have a low balance charge-off, and that can be anything below $1,500. You can usually get these accounts deleted by factual disputes. They are a lot easier to remove. We also have paid or settled accounts. Either it's paid in full or maybe you settle for a lower balance. Whatever the case may be, these accounts are still legally validated. And when you factually dispute this account, you can skip round 1 and round 2 and go straight into round 3. Now, if you haven't seen my videos before, we will go into detail about what these rounds actually mean. A transferred account usually has a 0 balance and it should indicate sold or transferred. Now, you will need to check your credit report to verify this. If you see that it's reporting a balance, it indicates sold or transferred, you'll want to submit round 1 and round 2. Now, these are not all the types of charge-offs, but these are definitely the most common ones that you'll see on your credit report. Okay, so here is the method for disputing a charge-off using factual disputes. Now, I have broken the dispute method into 4 separate parts, or you could think of this as 4 rounds, starting with round number 1. You're going to send a preliminary investigation or an initial investigation, whichever one you want to call it. The words interchange. You never send a factual dispute to initially dispute a charge-off. Step number 2, we're going to send a reinvestigation, a follow-up complaint. For step number 3, we're going to use factual disputes. Now, I use things such as date of last activity or payment history or certain account attributes, and I'm going to go over that later in this video. And for step number 4, if the charge-off isn't deleted with that previous round, you will then send additional disputes until that account has been deleted. All of this information came from the FCRA, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and that's what we're going to be going over next. And then we'll also be going over to the Cornell Law School Legal Information Institute. They provide free online resources that help people understand law, and it makes it very easy for anyone to decipher this information. All right, so currently I have the Fair Credit Reporting Act pulled up. I will put a link in the description for you, and I really want you guys to please pay attention to exactly what's going to happen when we're looking at this report. So if anyone tells you that they have a trick, a hack when it comes to credit repair, those are just buzzwords that people use in order to get your attention. Like I said last year, that's fine when the information actually does work. But if you want to actually know what to do on your own without watching a YouTuber or personality or anything like that, all the answers are right here. This will tell you everything that you need to do. This is your rule book. These are your rights, and you need to understand them if you want to make sure that you can clean up your credit report. So let's scroll down, and I want to take you to the table of contents. Now, there's a lot of information here. You guys should definitely check this out, but I already know the exact subsection that I want to actually show you, and that's going to be subsection 623, responsibilities of furnishers of information to consumer reporting agencies, 15 USC. So click on that, and it will bring you right to this one. And right here, the responsibilities of furnisher of information to consumer reporting agencies. So these are the responsibilities of a furnisher. Like I said before, I started doing data furnishing now, so I understand exactly what rules need to be upheld in order for this to be legally applicable to your credit report and for the information to actually stick. Now, the duty of furnishers of information is to provide accurate information. If we look at this section A, reporting information with actual knowledge of errors. A person shall not furnish any information relating to a consumer to any consumer reporting agency if the person knows or has reasonable cause to believe that information is inaccurate. So if you have reasonable cause to believe that your information is not right, you can dispute the information. Now, reporting information after notice and confirmation of errors, a person shall not furnish information relating to a consumer to any consumer reporting agency if the person has been notified by the consumer. So if you tell them at the address specified by the person, which means, and that's why removing all of the previous addresses on your credit report is important, and that the information is consistent across all three bureaus. So at the address specified by the person for such notices, that specific information is inaccurate, and the information is in fact inaccurate. And you get a definition right here. For purposes of subparagraph A, the term reasonable cause is that you believe the information is inaccurate. So if you have reasonable cause to believe information is inaccurate, you can get that information disputed. So guys, you're not disputing whether or not you owe the balance. You're not disputing whether or not you didn't or did pay a debt. What you're disputing is the accuracy of information and what you believe to not be correct. And that is the only thing that we're talking about today. Now, I've switched over to the Cornell Law Legal Information Institute. Reason being, when you look at the FCRA, the information is intentionally ambiguous. Like I said before, they make it very difficult for you to understand, and then you have to try to interpret what the law actually is. So because of that, you can't just say that something is explicitly stated. The information is intentionally made to be that way, so that you have to sort of try to figure out exactly what's being said. And this is where the Cornell Law School really does help. And like I said before, as long as the law is up to interpretation, you can't get the same result every single time. So we have to actually go in here and find the parts that we can use in order to support our arguments. All right, so let's take a look at what exactly happens when you dispute an account. So this will be 15 U.S. Code subsection 1681I, procedure in case of disputed accuracy. And if we go right here, this talks about the reinvestigations of disputed information. So, subject to subsection F and except as provided in subsection G if the completeness or accuracy of any item of information contained in a consumer's file at a consumer reporting agency is disputed by the consumer and the consumer notifies the agency directly or indirectly through a reseller of such dispute, the agency shall, free of charge, conduct a reasonable reinvestigation to determine whether the disputed information is accurate and record the current status of the disputed information, or delete the item from the file in accordance with paragraph 5. So just to sum all of this up, this lets you know right here, before they actually can delete an account, there might be a reinvestigation. Well, if there's a reinvestigation, that means there has to be an initial investigation. That's the reason why when I read this, when I was trying to clean up my credit report, I would interpret this as you need to send an investigation first to ask them to look into the accuracy of an account. Then you have to submit a reinvestigation. When you do that, they have to reasonably investigate the account to determine whether or not that disputed information is in fact accurate. Now, they have to do this before the end of the 30-day period beginning on the date on which the agency had received the notice of the disputed information from the consumer or the reseller. And then we're going to scroll down a little bit and we're going to take a look at treatment of inaccurate or unverifiable information. So it says, if after any reinvestigation under paragraph 1 of any information that's disputed by a consumer, an item of the information is found to be inaccurate or incomplete or cannot be verified, so that could be it. It could be inaccurate, it could be incomplete, or they can't verify it by the consumer reporting agency, then they shall promptly delete that item of information from the file of the consumer, or they have to modify that information as appropriate based on the results of the reinvestigation and promptly notify the furnisher of that information that it has been modified or deleted from the file of the consumer. So what this is saying is that when you actually submit, like let's say your round 3, your factual dispute, you have to have information that's either inaccurate, incomplete, or just simply can't be verified, which is why I always have you remove old personal information. That helps with verification. They can't verify it. Or if it's incomplete, you have to show them exactly what's incomplete. Or if it's inaccurate, show them what's inaccurate. All right. When you do this, they will either delete the information or they will update the information. It can go either way. Now, in a best case scenario, the information gets deleted. If it doesn't go that way, they can update the file. But that's where we can continue sending reinvestigations, right? Telling them that it's still incorrect, and we could show them other reasons why the account is either 1, inaccurate, 2, incomplete, or they won't be able to verify the information that you're asking for or the information that you're disputing. Now, guys, this is the reason why I stress so much. The CFPB doesn't matter. The BBB doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, okay? These agencies don't uphold your rights. You do. The law does. It's here. This is the rule book. These are your rights. As long as you know these, you can get the information deleted off of your credit report. Okay, you need to know them, and then you need to know the procedures, which is the steps that we need to take in order to get these accounts deleted. So now that we hopefully understand why we have to go through this process, let's talk about round 1. Now, for round 1, you're going to send an investigation complaint. You never want to send a factual dispute until after you have had this initial or procedural investigation, and then this will be followed up by a reinvestigation. So I have the verbiage right here, and you can actually copy and paste it in. I would try to change it slightly, just, put it in your own words, but this is what you would send for round 1. I'm also going to show you how to send this through the CFPB, but if you didn't want to do that and you want to put this in a letter, you can literally just copy this and make this the body of your letter, and you can then send this to whichever bureau that you're disputing with. Now, for round 1, it says, recently I looked at a copy of my credit report. I noticed several inaccuracies on my account. This account is hurting my ability to obtain credit. It's my understanding that you will investigate this account for me to ensure accuracy. Here is the account I am asking you to verify as accurate. And then you put the account name, the account number, and put the account number exactly as it appears on your credit report. Now you need to send a copy of your driver's license. This is very important. Make sure that your driver's license matches the address that is on your credit report. If the information is mismatched, then this will not help you. Please make sure that you remove all the old personal information. You have one name, you have one address that matches. All right, that is non-negotiable. The next thing that you want to do is send a picture of your social security card. Take a picture of that, crop it. You want to upload that and send that through the CFPB as well. You can also put that in your dispute letter. And then you also want to send your proof of address. You will send that for round 1. And proof of address can be a utility bill. It could be your bank statement. It could be your car insurance, anything like that, that proves that you live somewhere. I mean, it could even be like, internet, Wi-Fi, anything like that. You want to send all of this for round 1, and I'm going to show you how to do that later on in this video. Now, round number 2 will be sending your reinvestigation complaint. Now, a lot of people ask me about how do I know when to send the next round. My recommendation is to use the Rising app. If you do have Rising, you will get notified once the dispute has been resolved. If the dispute is resolved and of course the account stays the same, sometimes you'll get a deletion for round 1, but usually it just comes back as verified. When that happens, you can go back to the CFPB and you can send your round 2 dispute, or you'll get a letter in the mail letting you know the dispute has been resolved. If it shows up as verified, then you'll know, okay, I can send my next round after this. You want to make sure that you don't send round 2 if you wait more than 30 days. If you wait more than 30 days, go back to round 1 and start from the beginning. Now, for the round 2 verbiage, it says, I don't agree with the account that's listed below, which still appears on my credit report. Even after your investigation, I would like this account immediately reinvestigated. These inaccuracies are highly injurious to my credit rating. And then furthermore, in accordance with the Fair Credit Reporting Act, again, it's the same thing that we talked about. Please provide the names and business addresses of each individual with whom you verified above so that I may follow up. Please forward me an updated credit report after you have completed your investigation and corrections. Your cooperation and prompt attention is greatly appreciated. And then you will put the same information, the account name, the account number, send driver's license, copy of social, and proof of address. You do not send any factual disputes or a picture of your credit report yet. All we're doing is asking them to reinvestigate and say, hey, if you did this investigation, if this is actually true, provide me with exactly how you did it. All right. And if they don't do that, sometimes you get a deletion just from round 2. Now, let's say that you didn't get a deletion. This is where we're going to move on to round number 3. Now, before we talk about round number 3, I just want to go over the most common inaccuracies. Now, the number 1 inaccuracy that I recommend that people use is the repeated charge off method. That means that every month on your credit report, the account will actually update as charged off. Now, this is extending your statute of limitations, and every update makes the account look newer than it actually is. Re-aging an account, that is illegal. The next one is not indicating when or if the account has been sold. That is a misrepresentation of the account status. Not reflecting a $0 balance after the account has been transferred, sold, that's double jeopardy. If you're reporting inconsistent balances across all 3 bureaus, that's misinformation. There's also the date of first delinquency. That would be illegally changing the account to reflect the wrong date. There's also changes after the 180-day status of a charge-off. Normally, a charge-off is an account that after 180 days, the account was not paid. Once again, the bank had decided or the creditor had decided that they cannot collect on this account. They charge it off. Once that happens, you cannot update the account. The account is dead. Now, these are the most common inaccuracies that I'm going to discuss in this video. Later on, I'm going to show you another video where, as a data furnisher, exactly what the mistakes are where our accounts can be deleted. That way you have a little bit of insider information in case you need to go beyond round 3. Once again, this video will already be long, so I'm going to separate that and put that in my next video. Now, here's an example of a factual dispute. You can see that this was an account that I had with Merrick Bank on Equifax. Now, as you can see, Equifax every single month is being reported as charged off. However, the account was initially charged off back in 2022. So if this account was charged off in 2022 and it was in March, why is it that every single month you're updating the account? That is extending the statute of limitations. That is not accurate reporting. This information is inaccurate. It is a misrepresentation of me and my credit. This account needs to be deleted. So this is an example of when you send round 3, This is what you're going to want to screenshot, and I recommend that you screenshot each one for the bureau that it corresponds to. You want to show the one for Equifax, you want to show the one for Experian, and then you want to show the one for TransUnion. All right, now let's go over this one more time. We're going to put it all together. So step one, or round number one, we're going to send an investigation complaint. That's that procedural initial investigation to dispute our charge off. We're going to send the documents that I mentioned. We're not going to send a screenshot of the account. Step two, we're going to send our reinvestigation. That is our follow-up complaint once we get notice. You do not want to keep sending a dispute after a dispute. If you do that, they will throw it out as frivolous. You have to wait for them to respond before you send your next round. Once you have a response or an update on your credit report, again, use rising.com, then you will know that you can move on to step number two. Now, step number three, that's what we're currently on right now. That's when we're going to get our screenshot and we're going to send some verbiage like this. Now, the account was charged off on the following date. You can put the month, you could put the year. Since then, the account has repeatedly been updated as charged off every single month. This is an update in payment history. A charge-off account should not include an active payment history. This inaccurate information will falsely manipulate the statute of limitations. You failed to investigate the account properly, and your negligence has violated my rights. I am demanding a deletion of the following account name, account number. Now you can screenshot this, copy this, try to change it up a little bit, but you'll send something like this and you'll match the information on your credit report. The reason why I like to show you this one is because most people will have this example. Now, if you don't have this example, any of the other disputes that I talked about, you can use. Now, once again, I'm only going to show you round 1 through round 3 because round 4 and beyond depends on what's on your credit report. I have no idea what's on your account. When you're watching this video, this is the most likely one that you'll see, but I don't know what's actually on there. So I could not tell you what to do for round 4 or beyond that. You'd have to look at your report and see what information is either unverifiable, inaccurate, or incomplete. Now, again, I will have a follow-up video with some more examples, but here is one example for round 4. Now, let's say that you have an account that's charged off, but there's also a collection. Now, again, that's double jeopardy. I can't have the same charge off and collection on my credit report. So this is an example of something that you would send for round 4 if this was a scenario that you were in. Now, the following accounts are both claiming the same debt with a balance. As you know, this is not possible, and this is a violation of my rights. And because of this, both accounts need to be removed from my credit report immediately due to you not properly validating the information in which a company has passed to you. Please delete immediately. Now, that's when you would list account number 1, the name and the account number, and then account number 2. So that is an example of the next thing that you can do if, let's say, after round 3, it was deleted from Experian and Equifax, but not TransUnion. Now, if TransUnion does something like this, you can send this as a dispute. But as you can see here, it's highly personalized. That's why I said there's no one charge off or personal information on a credit report that's the same. That's why you can't just exactly copy what someone else did and expect to see the same results. Everybody's credit report is different, and that's why there are so many different ways to dispute these accounts. You have to find them. Now, with that being said, I'm going to actually show you how you would submit round 1 through the CFPB, and then from there, that's the same way you would submit round 2 and round 3 and any round beyond that. Or once again, you can also copy this text, put it in the body of a letter, and you can mail it certified if you want to go that route. Either way, it does not matter. They will both work. So currently we are on the CFPB website. I'm going to put a link in the description if you guys want to check this out. You're going to scroll down and you're going to select start a new complaint. Now, if you do have an account created, you can actually go to already submitted a complaint or created your account here, or you would go through this process of signing up. Now, if you click on here, then you'll be able to log into your account. Now, once you log in, you'll look for the top right-hand corner. There'll be submit a complaint. It's a blue button. Just click on that, and then it will take you to this section right here. Now, the first thing that you'll want to do is select credit reporting, and then you're going to select credit reporting for the type of credit product, right? you're going to click on next. Then for what type of problem that you're having, you're going to click on problem with the company's investigation into an existing problem. And then you're going to select their investigation did not fix an error on your report. Have you already tried to fix this problem with the company? Yes. Did you request information from the company? Yes. This section right here is optional. You don't have to put anything in here. Did the company provide the information? The answer is no. And then you'll click on next. Now, once you do this, we're going to be brought to the section where we can actually say what happened. Again, you can just copy that and try to change the verbiage up slightly, but you're going to do this. Recently, I looked at a copy of my credit report. Again, the same information that we talked about for round number 1. Then you're going to put the charge off name, and then you're going to put the account number as shown on your report. And then you're going to scroll down here. What would be a fair resolution? And then for fair resolution right here, you can just say, please investigate this account. Please investigate this account for accuracy. Or to be honest, you really could just copy and paste the exact same thing if you wanted to. It's not really like a big deal because you're going to restate the exact same thing. You notice several inaccuracies with this account. You want them to investigate it and ensure that it is accurate. It's really going to be the exact same thing. Now, when you come down here, this is where you're going to upload your documents. Again, driver's license, you want to have the address that matches your credit report. Very important. You want to also have the same correct name. Then you want to make sure that you add your proof of residency. All right. It needs to be something that shows the same address on your credit report and on your license. And the last thing you'll need is a copy of your social. If you don't add this, they will try to do a stall tactic saying that they can't identify you. Once that happens, it just prolongs this process. All right, then you'll click on next. Now, here's the great thing about the CFPB. For round 1, for round 2, you can pretty much send one dispute and you can send it to all 3 bureaus. Now, when it comes to round 3, if your dispute reason is different, then unfortunately, you'll have to send them separately. So I'll give you an example right here. You'll put Experian, right? Look for the company name. It's going to ask you to enter your social, your name as it appears on your credit report, and your date of birth. So I'm going to enter my social. I'm going to enter my date of birth here. And then I'm going to enter my name as it appears on my credit report. Then it's going to ask, do you want to complain about another company? And the answer is yes. Now I want to complain about, let's say, TransUnion, right? And again, round 1 is going to be pretty much the exact same if you're disputing one charge off, because round 1 isn't really going to give you any specific information. But that might change across the bureaus as you get to round 3 and your factual disputes. So I've already tried to fix this with the company. Did you request the information? Yes. You don't have to put anything here. Answers no here. And we're going to put the same exact thing, guys. So just repeat that process. And then we're going to enter the name as it appears on the credit report. And then do you want to complain about another company? Yes. And then I want to complain about, finally, Equifax, right? And then Equifax will come up. And again, all the exact same things. We just put the exact same information. Now, again, the reason why I like this is because when you do it like this, the CFPB will send your dispute to all 3 credit bureaus at the same time. So it saves you a bunch of time instead of having to do this one by one. Again, that works for round 1 and round 2. Now, if round 3, let's say it's showing repeated charge off for, all 3 credit bureaus, it's the exact same thing, then I guess you could actually just do this and send them all at the same time. But if there's any discrepancy, like anything slightly different, the name, anything, I would recommend just sending them separately. All right. Then you're going to click on next. Now, this is going to be the last step that I'm going to show you. Now, who are you submitting this complaint for? You would click myself. Never put someone else. If you put someone else, it'll get thrown out as frivolous. You always want to select myself. Now, when you select myself, the next option is review, like it says here. It just shows all of your information. Just make sure that everything is correct. If everything is correct, you're good to go. Submit that complaint. You will then see the complaint in your portal for the CFPB. Here's one thing that I always get asked about. I just have to reiterate it. The CFPB is like a one-way street. The CFPB will not update you automatically about your disputes. You will not get constant updates about this, okay? The CFPB is just going to send this out, and then they will send you the same thing. It'll say after 60 days, this complaint will be completed. They send that out as a default to everyone. That is not what's going to happen. What will happen is the bureaus will respond in usually like a week or so, like usually like I would say 5 to 7 days. And you may see this either through Experian. If you have the app, Experian notifies you. TransUnion, if you create an account with them, then you can log on and you can go to their dispute portal and you can see when it's been resolved. You can also go to Equifax, go down to their dispute center. They will show you the status of the dispute. Or you can download Rising and you'll be notified when there's an update on each account. When you receive that notification for an update, now you will then send round 2. You will copy that other verbiage that I said for round 2. You will come back and repeat this process. Then you'll wait, get an update. Maybe some things got deleted, maybe not. Then you will send round 3. And that is where you may have to do these one by one. All right, because then depending on what's on each bureau, the information might be different and you want to make sure that you screenshot accurate. If it's TransUnion, it should go to TransUnion. If it's Equifax, theirs may be different. You want to send it to them. If it's Experian, again, it might be different. You want to send that. Account number might be different, name. You want to send the screenshot that corresponds with that bureau. So again, that may make this process take a little bit longer, but it's definitely better than sending letters and writing three of them out and then mailing those off and send them certified. All right, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you took anything away from this, just understand that when you actually know your rights, when you know the law, this process does become a whole lot easier. I also want to set the right expectations. Once again, no one person's credit report is the same. There are no guarantees here. You are not guaranteed to get an account deleted. This process, this information does just make it more likely for you to succeed. And another thing, most people get deletions not just because they understand this process. It's really because they're persistent. Like for me, I probably have sent over 300 complaints. I've done it so many times, and I know me, I'm a persistent person. If I want something done, it will get done. I will stay on top of it. The more persistent you are, the more likely that you are to see the results. So if you're someone who emails me or tries to contact me and tries to say, hey, I sent 1 or 2 rounds, this didn't get deleted. I'm sorry, like 3 or 4. My response is normally like, look, I've sent 15, I've sent 20, I've done this as many times as it took. Okay. That's all that I can really say. Your persistence will pay off, and how much you want it will actually determine the results that you see. So stay consistent, stay on top of it. If one method doesn't work, or a dispute rather, try a different option. Keep trying new things, because worst case scenario, this information falls off in 7 years. So if you do nothing, it'll still fall off. The best thing that you can do in the meantime is learn exactly what's going on, build positive financial habits, so when you are ready, you can actually start taking advantage of your good credit, your funding sources, anything like that. Like you can leverage your credit score to your benefit, because really in the end, the reason why people have bad credit usually has to do with them not being responsible with money. That's really what it comes down to. And because of that, an account defaulted. That's really what it comes down to for the most part. Are they over leveraged? That happens to everyone. It happened to me. It doesn't matter how smart you think you are. It doesn't matter how well you think you can handle money. This happens to every single person usually. Okay, so you're not alone. Everyone usually will go through this in some way, form, or fashion. I hope that for you, the process is smooth. I hope that it does really work out. But if not, once again, stay persistent, stay consistent. I will have a follow-up video where I talk more about the data furnishing side, because now as time has gone on, I have a broader perspective looking at the other side, being a data furnisher and reporting information. And now I see exactly what's required by me legally in order to uphold this account and have it report to your personal credit. So that is a very unique perspective that I've never shown on this channel, and I definitely want to share that with you guys. So hopefully it'll help you get more deletions. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it, and you have a wonderful day.